सियासियात में एजाज हैदर की तरफ से खुशामदेद। क्रिसमस के दिन मुबैना तौर पे एक नाइजीरिया के बाशिंदे ने एक अमरीकी तैयारे को उड़ाने की कोशिश की। उसके बाद अमेरिका में जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सिक्योरिटी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है उन्होंने नए स्क्रीनिंग के असूल वज़ा किए और उनको अपनी वेबसाइट पर डाला। उसमें 14 ममालिक के बाशिंदे शामिल हैं और ये जो स्क्रीनिंग के नए रूल हैं इनमें फुल बॉडी स्कैन और पैट डाउन्स यानी जिस्म का पूरा मुआयना जो है उसके हवाले से जो है वो असूल वज़ा किए गए। इसके बारे में पाकिस्तान की हुकूमत ने शदीद मज़म्मत की है इसकी, और बहुत आला सतह पे सदर पाकिस्तान ने भी और पाकिस्तान के वज़ीर आज़म ने भी इस सिलसिले में अमेरिका की हुकूमत से सख्त एहतजाज किया है कि पाकिस्तान को इन 14 ममालिक की फहरिस्त में क्यों डाला गया है। और इस सिलसिले में सेनेट में भी बहुत बहस और तमहीस हुई है और ये कहा जा रहा है कि पाकिस्तान इस सिलसिले में मज़म्मत की एक करारदाद जो है वो पेश करेगा। अब सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि, और इस सिलसिले में बात करेंगे अपने दूसरे मेहमानान से भी, कि इस सिलसिले में पाकिस्तान के पास क्या ऑप्शंस हैं। लेकिन फ़िलहाल हम गुफ्तगू करने जा रहे हैं अमेरिका के यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में नायब सफ़ीर जो हैं जेरल्ड फायरस्टाइन, उनसे, और उनसे पूछेंगे कि इस सिलसिले में अमेरिका की हुकूमत का और अमेरिकी सफारत खाने का क्या मौक़िफ़ है, और फिर इस सिलसिले को लेके आगे चलेंगे। So first we're going to talk to Mr. Gerald Feierstein, who, as I said, is the Deputy Chief of Mission at the U.S. Embassy here. Welcome to the program, Mr. Feierstein.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to be with you today.
Well, Mr. Feierstein, this is the issue of new screening rules of the TSA have become a big issue in Pakistan at the highest governmental levels. The Prime Minister of Pakistan has come online, so is the President, and the Senate is up in arms. So what does the U.S. Embassy have to say about this?
Well, as you know, the new rules were put into place after the events of December 24th, and of course a sense of urgency in the U.S. government, and especially in the Department of Homeland Security, to put in place some new regulations, some new ways of checking on security that would helpfully address some of the concerns. And so they've developed these approaches. They are, of course, instituted in locations where there are flights that are traveling to the United States, basically in order to try to prevent the repetition of what happened on Christmas Day.
But Mr. Feierstein, that's all very well, and one accepts the fact that there are security concerns in the United States, but the argument in Pakistan is as follows. One, when the U.S. Secretary of State, Ms. Hillary Clinton, came here, she made it a point to reach out to the people of Pakistan, and she was at pains to send out this message that it's not just about government to government level relations, but we want to reach out to the people of Pakistan. So one, with these screening rules, how does that square with the policy of trying to reach out to the people of Pakistan? That's one argument. The other is that this was a Nigerian, and the logistics for the entire effort were traced back to Yemen. Now, how come Pakistan finds itself in this august company of other 13 countries, which include Nigeria, Yemen, Afghanistan, Algeria, Iraq, Lebanon, Libya, and so on?
And Saudi Arabia, of course.
And of course, Saudi Arabia.
A very close ally and partner of the United States, like Pakistan is. And I think the important thing to understand, Ejaz, is that this is not aimed at Pakistanis. What it is regrettably a reflection and an understanding of the fact that unfortunately there are operating in Pakistan a number of groups, extremist groups, militant groups, that have been involved in these kinds of plots, that have unfortunately used Pakistani territory in order to plan these kinds of activities, to train, to recruit people. And that unfortunately a number of people have come to Pakistan for this kind of activity, this kind of training.
But Mr.
and have gone
Feierstein,
out.
the problem with this argument is that not a single Pakistani terrorist or anyone from any of these groups that are operating on the Pakistani soil actually traveled to the United States. This guy is Nigerian, traveled from Europe. There was the Richard Reed case. That too was not a Pakistani. Most of the Pakistanis that travel to the United States are either students or businessmen or people who go there on the invitation of various think tanks and universities.
Of course. And the other point to understand, Ejaz, is that the application of these new rules is not based only on the passport. In other words, it's not specifically aimed at Pakistanis. It's aimed at anyone who has been in Pakistan. So, for example, when I travel to the United States, I would be subject to the same rules as someone who lives here in Pakistan. And again, it's a reflection of the fact that there are these groups that are operating here, and they have trained. And unfortunately, I would point out that the individuals who were involved in the subway bombings in London were trained here in Pakistan. We've actually had several incidents in the last few months of people, not Pakistanis, but individuals who had associations with Pakistan, who've come here for training, who've gone back to the United States. Mr. Zazi, as you know, who was arrested in Denver a few months ago, was trained here in Pakistan. And so it is a reflection, again, not aimed at Pakistanis, but a reflection of the fact that, unfortunately, these groups are operating here in Pakistan and using Pakistani territory to hatch these kinds of problems.
Okay, two things here quickly. One, there is now a lot of evidence that as far as, because you mentioned the London subway bombings, those people were not really trained in Pakistan, but that's besides the point. The issue really is that, let's say, if I get an invitation from a US think tank and I'm boarding the flight from a Pakistani airport, I hold a Pakistani passport. And incidentally, I can tell you that I've just declined one invitation to Tampa, Florida at the US CENTCOM headquarters for a March conference precisely for these screening rules. Then do you think that it would make more sense if the policy is more discriminatory in the sense that, well, if someone is being invited by a US think tank or the State Department or some such other entity, that he is unlikely to be someone who will be trying to come to the United States to do some harm?
Look, the reality is that we know and you know that 99.9% of the people coming to the United States from Pakistan or any place else in the world are unlikely to do something like this. Unfortunately, there is the 0.1% of people out there who may be thinking about this, and this is the reality of the situation that we're in, that 99.9% or maybe even 99.99% of the people who are innocent travelers who have an intention only of going on vacation or going to attend a conference are affected by this and put in an awkward situation. I would also say, in all fairness, that it's unfortunate that you made the decision that you did, and secondly, I think that unfortunately there's also been a tendency to exaggerate, if I might, the actual checking that we're talking about. I can tell you that in my own travels back to the U.S. from Pakistan, going back for as long as I've been here,